Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. If you are here, chances are you're likely pregnant or just a little birth obsessed. If you're pregnant, congratulations. If you're a little birth obsessed, I'm right there with you. If you're having a hard time finding a place to start and you're overwhelmed by all the information that's out there, hearing about what worked for this person, what didn't work for the next person, then you've come to the right place. Having the labor and birth experience of your dreams is possible and more likely to happen if you take the time to prepare before your birth time arrives. In today's video, we're taking a deep dive into the birth plan, part 1 of our 3-part birth prep mini-series. If you're new here, my name is Jasmin. I'm a doula, certified lactation counselor, childbirth educator, and mom to one beautiful baby girl. I created this space to be a resource for families who just need a place to start. Before we get into today's topic, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for alerts on the latest videos. Some providers believe that the birth plan is just a list of demands, something that you saw on Pinterest, thought it was cute, and you used it for the creation of your birth plan. And although you might have used Pinterest for the creation of your birth plan, there's more to it than that. A birth plan is a tool used in pregnancy to assist you in researching the options available, encourage you to ask questions, and promote communication between you and your birth team so that when your birth time comes, your birth team has already been informed about the roadmap that you created for your birth experience. It's important for you to bring your birth plan with you everywhere you go. During your prenatal appointments, your birth plan will help narrow down the provider that may be more compatible with you. Think about how they reacted when you brought up the birth plan. Think about how their reaction made you feel when you brought up the topic of the birth plan. Were they excited to inform you of the options available to you? Or did they just brush it off and say, nah, we'll talk about that later on when the time comes, or we'll talk about that when you're in labor? I've had clients in the past who have brought up their birth plan to their providers and their provider kind of just brushed it off, pushed it to the side. We'll talk about it later. They kind of have one foot out the door while the client is trying to explain to them their birth plan or asking questions about how the birth experience can be. And the provider ultimately says, you'll be fine. This is a huge red flag. Prenatal appointments are the time for you to ask questions and get clarity on the options available to you and what is being recommended to you. When you are in labor, you will have many other things to worry about, like having a baby. So you want to be in a relatively calm state to research what is being presented to you so that you can make a completely informed decision. We know that birth is not one size fits all, so the birth plan really helps to make your care individualized. Sometimes in a system where we have a lot of pregnant moms going in to see just one provider, it's very easy for the provider just to get swept up in getting the checklist crossed off and moving on to the next person. So when you bring up your birth plan, you kind of slow the room down, take control, and make sure that your concerns are being listened to. In addition to your birth plan helping you find the provider that's best for you, it can also help you find the location that is best for you. Do you desire a more low intervention birth and you are healthy and your baby is healthy? Maybe a home birth or a freestanding birth center is the best place for you to birth. Or on the opposite end, are you looking to have a more technological birth? Do you need more monitoring? Does your baby need more monitoring? Maybe the hospital is the best place suited for your birth. Narrowing it down even further, let's use the birth tub as an example. Does your birthing location have a birth tub? If you're having a home birth, you can use your tub if you have a tub. You can order a birth tub. The birth center, what rooms are available with birth tubs? Are you able to birth in the birth tub or can you just labor in the birth tub? Maybe you're birthing in the hospital. When was the last time the hospital's birth tub was used? Is it there just collecting dust, being used as a storage room? Is there only one per floor? Is it only available in a day? It is important to ask questions using your birth plan as a guide to help you narrow down what is the most important to you in getting you the birth experience of your dream. I'm curious to know, have you used a birth plan? Do you know anyone who's used a birth plan? Have you helped anyone use a birth plan? Let me know in the comments below how your provider reacted. Let me know about your birth experience with your birth plan and how that turned out. Also, let me know if you didn't have a birth plan and wished you had a birth plan and how your birth turned out. Labor and birth can look so many ways depending on your health, depending on the baby's health, depending on the person, depending on the location, depending on the provider. It's important to know that your birth plan, once it's done, it's not set in stone. This is a document that is evolving throughout the course of your education and your pregnancy as you narrow down the best options for you and your baby. Birth plans can look so many different ways. There are checklists, there are visual plans, there are plans based on the 5 senses. I personally just jotted down all my plans in my notebook, and every time I had a prenatal appointment with my midwife, we would go over some of the points in the birth plan. You also want different options for your birth plan depending on the location. What happens if you're primarily planning to birth at home or in a birthing center and you get transferred to a hospital? Her birth plan for both scenarios will be beneficial, just as creating a birth plan for a natural unmedicated birth, an induction, a C-section, that will also be beneficial. The best birth plans are short and sweet, something that's going to work for you and your providers. After having discussed and informed your birth team about your options and your preferences before your birth, your team will use your birth plan as a reference point to quickly glance over and make sure that your birth is staying on track and hopefully as close to your birth plan as possible, given that everything continues to be safe in your labor and birth. To get started, head down to the video description for my free birth plan template. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. Head on over to my channel for my birth story and continue coming back for more birth talk. Next time, we'll be getting into part 2 of our 3-part birth prep mini-series. Also remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for alerts on my next video. See you later.